Kid Missing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. Today, we will be talking about the case of Tammy Belanger. Tammy vanished from Exeter, New Hampshire on November 13th, 1984. She was 8 years old. She went missing on her walk to Lincoln Street School. She never made it to school that day and has not been seen since. One of the things that struck me about her case, was that she shares a birthday with my cousin. Different year, but the same date, February 24th. Hi, Beanie. There is a suspect in this case. A bad dude who's been hurting kids from New Hampshire to California. Florida, I'm sorry. Literally. Which is all the way down the East Coast. His name was, he's since died, Victor Wonyetye. That's spelled Wonyetye. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Wonyetye. He was in jail in Florida for the case of another 8-year-old little girl. And originally police thought they found a picture of Tammy in his home, but it was another child, which to me is utterly chilling, because who is that child? Is that child alive? This is a bad dude. So what happened to this child that he has the picture of? It just was absolutely, like I said, chilling. He is also the suspect in the case of Marjorie Christina Luna, who was called Christy. She was also 8 years old. She disappeared in Green Acres, Florida on May 27th, 1984. He had moved to New Hampshire maybe a couple of weeks before Tammy's disappearance. So they know he was down there. Like I said, he was in jail for another crime altogether. There was a 15-year-old that some thought he may have been involved in the kidnapping and murder of. However, that case by police was attributed to a serial killer who specialized in, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. His predilection was teenage girls and young adults, but like late teens, like mid to late teens, I would say, named Christopher Wilder. There's actually a movie about him out, and the person that plays him is totally the opposite of him. It's kind of funny. But he did a great job playing him anyway. So if you get a chance to see the movie, do watch it. They're pretty sure, however, that the case of Marjorie Luna is related to that of Tammy Belanger. Tammy had crossed eye. It was very crossed. You can see it in her pictures. The brown hair. He moved to New Hampshire, like I said, just before Tammy's disappearance. Some people are saying that he may have been, this is graphic, warning, put Tammy's body, because he worked at he worked at a body shop on her way to school. But they also took cars that were stripped down, means all the fluids were taken out and all the stuff that can be used again was taken out, and they were sent to the crusher. Some people say he threw her body in one of those cars, in the trunk, or in somewhere else. But I would think that if that was the case, when the car was crushed, and again, I apologize for this, wouldn't blood come out to some degree? Wouldn't somebody notice something? And they said that after these cars are crushed, they're sliced. Well, if you're slicing into the pieces, aren't you going to see pieces of a person? I'm sorry, that's horrible. But and you know, comment if you think I'm all wet. But to me, that was just absolutely beyond chilling. New Hampshire finally formed a cold case unit in 2009 and shows 100 cases. I don't know if Tammy's is among them. I sure hope it is. Or was, because I couldn't find the list. And again, a friend of one Yetis claims that he was in the vehicle with Victor One Yeti and Tammy Belanger. Dude, you're an accessory. I would think that they could say, okay, we'll charge you as an accessory, but you tell us where is her body, you tell us exactly what happened, and you'll get a lighter sentence, maybe even get off. There was also a tip 12 years after Tammy's disappearance that led them to dive Colcord's Pond. They said this is not a friendly place to try to dive, evidently. It was right near the old sawmill. Now, for those of you not from New England, let me try to explain something. I was thinking about this as I was reading it. Pond by the sawmill, it's probably built by the sawmill. Because here in New England we have a lot of old mills and, you know, of different varieties that in the beginning, before we had electricity, were run by the water, run by rivers and ponds around them. All of our mills have rivers or ponds around them because that's how the machinery was run. It would be the same thing for that sawmill. So I'm guessing that that pond was put there man-made for the sawmill, just to give you sort of an idea. So it probably wasn't a big pond, but they said it, and it probably did have areas in it that were, maybe it had logs you could get caught in or whatever in it, or pieces of wood that might make it a little more treacherous. You know, if something fell in it, or equipment from the old sawmill might have ended up in it. Lots of reasons why it could have been kind of sketchy. There was, and the same man who said he was with One Yeti when he abducted Tammy was actually seen by a witness with One Yeti stalking another child. So maybe he does need to do a little time. But it's so important to find out where she is. Have to give him a little less time, give him a little less time. They exhumed a 96-year-old woman's grave because a tip said she was buried in the grave and then the woman was buried atop her. I've seen that tip on a few cases. It never comes to fruition. Just seems to be one of those things that people think. This woman was buried like a day or two after Tammy had vanished. Like I said, she was in her 90s and passed away. So they had to pull the poor woman up out of her grave, dig underneath her to see if she was there. There was nothing there. Like I said, I've seen this tip on I don't know, 4 or 5 other cases. It's never once been right. So, but they have to check. Um, he, one yet he may have bragged, according to some sources, to inmates about the two girls and maybe, you know, others, about the two girls. Here is, this is a chilling story. Sorry to keep using that word. A woman came forward a number of years later and said that she had been attacked by the same man who attacked Marjorie Christie Luna. They were in the park. The park had bathrooms. The man tricked this girl into going back into the bathroom to pick up some change he claimed she lost. As she bent over to pick up the change, he attacked her. He sexually assaulted her, and it was the next day that, oh no, it was the same day, I'm sorry, that he attacked Marjorie, almost at the same time. She got away after blacking out a couple of times. She probably had a concussion. And I don't know whether she was ever shown a lineup of photos or whatever, to see if she could pick out Victor Wanyeti. And back then they didn't have DNA, you know, we're talking about the 80s. The police, the FBI, not finding a whole lot, believed her and decided to put her in front of the media. I have not found said media yet. And one theory that the police had, in the case, you know, to try to bring in more leads on Marjorie's case and on Tammy's case. Like I said, put her in front of the media. But one theory that the police did have was that it was possible that Tammy was placed in a dumpster. And the reason that they think that is because it was trash day for many of the big businesses, like industrial businesses, and all of the trash on the seacoast of New Hampshire, all the little towns had capped their landfills, and they were all going to a centralized landfill in Rochester. So it would be nearly impossible to find her there. They might have had better luck at the time if they knew what dumpster she was thrown in, because they would know where that trash was taken. Wanyeti's co-worker asked him, oh no, not his co-worker, I'm sorry, he did talk to a co-worker as well. The gentleman that ran the motel where Wanyeti was staying, happened to be watching the news about Tammy and the search, and Wanyeti was standing at the counter at the same time. And he said, do you think they will ever find her? And Wanyeti's response was shivers. He said, he didn't shiver, I'm shivering. Not now, they won't. What in the blue blazes does that mean? I'm glad this guy came forward, because that would have absolutely chilled me to the bone to hear that. So I don't think police are holding out a whole lot of hope, just because it's been so long, and B, what they believe happened to her. Interestingly, well, not interestingly, but as I told you, Wanyeti was he was not only a sex offender, a convicted sex offender, but they didn't have a registry then. He was a convicted robber. He was convicted on 7 counts of exposing a sexual organ. He would go under girls' windows and please himself uh, while looking inside. Yeah, taking peeping Tom to a whole new level. And it's not uncommon for them for these types of offenders to escalate to rape and to homicide. Unfortunately, like I said, the case he was not a suspect in. I actually did research, and it's about 45 minutes away. The 15-year-old in Concord, New Hampshire. Like I said, police believe that is Christopher Wilder, and they must have a reason because Wilder had a pretty good signature. It's pretty easy to tell. Again, check out the movie about him starring Gerald McRaney. It's fabulous. I want to thank you for listening to Tammy's case and taking a look at Tammy's picture. All the posters you see on these shows are made by me. Please, if you want to use them, I don't mind. Just let me know where you're using them in the comments. Just drop a comment, say, I cut out your poster, I'm gonna throw it in my video, or whatever it is. Just so I know. So I'm not surprised when it pops up somewhere. I don't care. I want the posters out there. I want people to click share on my Facebook, and I want people to see them on my Instagram. By the way, just to give you my social media, I have Facebook under my name. I have an Instagram under my name, but I also have a professional Instagram under Kid Missing. I have a Twitter, PS1Girl. I also have a Twitter, Kid Missing 1, which is where I post all of when my shows are going up. When they've gone up, I post the links there, and then I retweet it on my other Twitter. I do have a third Twitter, but I don't have a password for it anymore, so I don't use it. Which was Jericho Girly. So, you can get a hold of me all of those ways. Please check out our podcast playlist. It's growing every day. I just added 2 more, part 1 and 2 of the case of Jodi Ledkins, where I spoke to her mother and then her elder brother. Thank you all for watching. Please like, please subscribe. When you subscribe, hit that bell. And make sure you click all, otherwise you won't get the notifications. I know as YouTubers we say this all the time, but it's kind of important, because a lot of people will say, I didn't get my notification. It's happened to me where I didn't hit the all, and then I wondered why a video was recommended to me, but I didn't get a notification for it. That's why. Then I had to go back and click all. So, and please share the videos on your social medias. Thank you all.